The ocean was calm, a mirror reflecting the azure sky, as the first anomaly appeared. Sailors aboard the USS Thunderstrike, a state-of-the-art US Navy warship patrolling the Pacific, watched in awe as the sky above them began to ripple. At first, it seemed like a mirage, but the ripples expanded, forming a vortex of light that sent shockwaves through the air. Alarms blared aboard the Thunderstrike, and Commander Elise Carrington stormed onto the deck. "What the hell is that?" she demanded. "Ma'am, we're detecting energy readings off the charts. This is not terrestrial," her radar technician stammered. Before anyone could respond, the vortex exploded in a cascade of light, revealing an enormous craft that hovered silently over the ocean. It was like nothing Elise had ever seen. Dark and pulsating with an eerie glow, its surface seemed alive, rippling like liquid metal. Across the globe, satellites captured the event, and within minutes, the world was watching live feeds of the alien arrival. News stations abandoned regular programming to broadcast the otherworldly spectacle. Social media erupted with panic, conspiracy theories, and hope. Governments scrambled to respond, activating emergency protocols. The ship made no aggressive moves. Instead, a deep hum reverberated through the atmosphere, followed by a message broadcast in perfect English on every major communication channel. "We are the Archaran," the voice intoned, calm and commanding. "We come in peace, seeking dialogue with the people of Earth. Assemble your leaders." The United Nations immediately convened an emergency summit. Despite initial chaos, representatives from the world's most powerful nations agreed to host the meeting at a secure location in Geneva, Switzerland. A specially constructed neutral zone was prepared, shielded from outside interference. Elise, one of the Navy's top tacticians, was selected to represent the military perspective. Her orders were clear: observe, assess, and intervene if necessary. But deep down, she knew no amount of training could prepare her for this. The summit began with awe and trepidation. The Archaran delegation materialized in the hall with a flash of light, their tall, angular forms gleaming with alien armor. Their leader, Zoltha, spoke with a voice that resonated in everyone's minds as much as their ears. "We offer knowledge," he said, gesturing to a holographic display showing advanced technology solutions to your energy crises, cures for your diseases, and harmony for your divided world. "All we ask in return is mutual respect and cooperation." As Zoltha spoke, Elise noticed something strange. The aliens' movements were stiff, their eyes darting around nervously. They weren't just observing the humans, they were studying them, as if assessing a threat. The uneasy peace shattered when a loud crack echoed through the hall. A guard had fumbled with his rifle, causing it to discharge into the ceiling instantly. The aliens recoiled, their armor glowing as energy shields enveloped them. Zoltha shouted a command in their language, and in a blinding flash, the delegation vanished. "What just happened?" Elise whispered, staring at the empty space where the aliens had stood. The answer was obvious. They were terrified. Far above Earth, aboard the Archaran mothership, Zoltha paced the command bridge, his composure cracking. The humans were nothing like the other species they had encountered, emotionally erratic, technologically unpredictable, and dangerously armed. They were a volatile anomaly. "Leader," his second-in-command, Varek said, his voice low and urgent. "The humans' emotional spectrum is unlike anything we've studied. Their aggression levels are alarming, even in neutral situations." Zoltha reviewed the data from the summit. Heart rates, stress hormones, and other biological markers spiked erratically among the humans. Even during peaceful dialogue, the guard's accidental weapon discharge confirmed their worst fears. "These creatures are ruled by chaos," Zoltha muttered, "yet they display advanced problem-solving capabilities and a terrifying resilience. Their civilization survives. Despite their internal conflicts, how is this possible?" "They weaponize emotion," Varek said grimly. "It fuels their innovation and their destruction." Back on Earth, the accidental gunshot was interpreted differently. Some governments saw it as a simple mishap, but others, particularly military powers, took it as a sign that the aliens might view humanity as a threat. Global militaries mobilized, preparing for an attack that hadn't yet come. Elise was called back to Washington to join a task force tasked with monitoring alien activity. Within hours, the Archaran began deploying probes to Earth's major cities. They were cloaked in advanced shielding, invisible to the naked eye, but detectable through faint electromagnetic signatures. "They're mapping us," Elise said during a briefing. "This isn't just reconnaissance, it's preparation." World leaders debated their next move. Some wanted to respond with force, But cooler heads prevailed instead. Humanity's brightest scientists were enlisted to study the probes. Tokyo became the first city to disable one using an electromagnetic pulse (EMP). The probe crashed into a crowded street, its sleek, organic design sending waves of fascination and fear through the public. As the wreckage was transported to a secure lab, a green beam of light shot down from the sky. The Archeron attempted to retrieve their lost technology, but Earth's defenses had anticipated the move. Anti-aircraft systems targeted the beam source, forcing the alien retrieval craft to retreat. In the chaos, Elise realized something profound. They're not invincible. She told her team they're advanced, but they're afraid of us, and that might be our greatest advantage. For the Archeron, the loss of their probe confirmed their fears. Humanity wasn't just unpredictable. They were capable of countering alien technology. What was meant to be a peaceful alliance was spiraling into something far more dangerous. Zoltha stared out at Earth from the bridge of his ship, his mind racing. If this species is the future of this galaxy, he murmured, then the galaxy may not survive them. The Archeron mothership hovered in orbit, cloaked from human eyes, but teeming with activity. Zoltha paced the command bridge, his anxiety rising with every passing moment. Earth was proving to be a nightmare planet filled with creatures whose emotions drove them to extremes, where logic often took a back seat to instinct. They're dismantling our probe as we speak. Varric reported the humans are aggressive, but they are also resourceful. They will learn nothing from it, Zoltha snapped, though he didn't believe his own words. Prepare a contingency team. We will initiate direct contact, away from their chaos zones. Varric hesitated. Leader, are you sure that's wise? These beings do not operate within the parameters of diplomacy, their unpredictability. Enough. Zoltha's voice echoed through the chamber. We have no choice if we withdraw now. The High Council will demand answers we cannot give. Back on Earth, Elise Carrington watched the feed from the downed probe with growing unease. Scientists marveled at its organic design, noting how it seemed to be alive, pulsing faintly under the lab's fluorescent lights. But something about it unnerved Elise. This wasn't just advanced technology, was alien in every sense of the word. Commander, her aide interrupted. We've picked up another signal. The aliens are broadcasting again. The message was simple. We request a parley, a location of your choosing, come unarmed. The location chosen was the Mojave Desert. Far from any population centers and under strict military oversight, drones circled overhead as Elise and her team arrived at the meeting site. A barren expanse of rock and sand, the Archeron shuttle descended silently, a sleek craft that glowed faintly as it touched the ground. The alien delegation emerged cautiously, their movements slow and deliberate. Zoltha stood at the forefront, his towering frame imposing but oddly tense. His eyes scanned the humans, lingering on the soldiers standing guard, their hands resting on their weapons. What do you want? Elise asked, her voice steady but firm. We wish to continue our dialogue, Zoltha replied, his voice resonating in the still air. But your kind frightens us. Elise raised an eyebrow. We frighten you? Zoltha gestured to the fighter jets, circling above, the tanks hidden in the distance, and the soldiers flanking her. Your species is driven by emotion. It fuels your ingenuity, your resilience, but also your capacity for destruction. You act not as one, but as many, and that makes you dangerous. Elise took a step forward, her arms crossed. So you think we're dangerous? What does that mean for this so-called alliance? Before Zoltha could respond, chaos erupted. A rogue militia group, mistrusting the government's intentions and armed with stolen military-grade weaponry, launched a surprise attack. Missiles streaked through the sky, heading straight for the alien craft. Elise shouted. Her team scrambled as the missiles approached. But before they could hit their target, a blinding pulse of light erupted from the Archeron shuttle. The missiles froze mid-air, disintegrating into harmless particles. The aliens' display of power silenced the battlefield. But the damage was done. Zoltha's team retreated into their craft, their shields glowing brighter as they prepared for liftoff. We cannot continue this, Zoltha said, his voice heavy. Your kind is too volatile. Wait. Elise called out, stepping forward. We protected you, didn't we? Zoltha paused, his glowing eyes locking onto hers. You did. And that is the only reason we are leaving you in peace. The Archeron shuttle vanished into the sky, leaving Elise and her team to face the fallout of the failed parley. The media exploded with reports of the alien encounter, with some hailing it as a near catastrophe, and others as a testament to humanity's strength. In the days that followed, global tensions reached a boiling point. Nations pointed fingers. Blaming each other for the rogue attack, military leaders debated escalating defenses, while scientists warned against provoking the aliens further. Elise was called to a high-level briefing in Washington, where she was grilled by senior officials. Can they be reasoned with? One asked, or should we be preparing for war? They're afraid of us. Elise replied, that's our greatest advantage. And our greatest danger if we push them too far. They won't hesitate to wipe us out. Meanwhile, aboard the Archeran mothership, Zaltha faced his own counsel Varric, and the other officers argued for immediate withdrawal, but the leader remained conflicted. Humanity is an enigma. Zaltha said, they are dangerous, yes. But they are also capable of cooperation and self-sacrifice. We must understand them further. Reluctantly, Zaltha authorized one final test. Archeran drones were dispatched to Earth with advanced technology. Disguised as gifts to measure humanity's response, the drones landed in major cities, offering devices that could purify water, generate unlimited clean energy, and heal injuries. The global reaction was mixed. Some welcomed the gifts, while others viewed them as Trojan horses in Paris. A device was dismantled by military scientists, triggering a failsafe that destroyed the lab in New York. A mob destroyed another, fearing it was a weapon. But in Nairobi, the device was used to power an entire village, transforming lives in a matter of days. Zaltha observed the results with a mixture of fascination and dread. They are not ready, he said finally. Their potential is vast, but their fear and mistrust outweigh it. If we stay, we risk annihilation. As the Archeran mothership prepared to leave Earth's orbit, Elise received an encrypted message, single line of text displayed on her screen. Your kind is a paradox perhaps. One day, you will understand yourselves as we do. Elise watched as the ship disappeared into the stars, leaving behind more questions than answers maybe. She whispered to herself, but not today. The Archeran mothership loomed in Earth's orbit, its massive silhouette casting an ominous shadow across the planet below. Inside, Zaltha stood at the bridge, his gaze fixed on the blue-green sphere that had proven to be a monumental enigma around him. His officers worked silently, their unease palpable. Leader Varric said, approaching cautiously, all probes have been retrieved, and the Council is awaiting your final report. Shall I transmit a request for immediate withdrawal? Zaltha nodded slowly, but didn't speak. He turned to the holographic projection of Earth rotating in the air before him. This species, he began, more to himself than anyone else, is unlike anything we've encountered. Their emotions make them dangerous, but also extraordinary. Varric hesitated. Do you believe they could ever be allies? Zaltha's expression darkened. Not now, not in their current state, but one day. Perhaps. On the surface, Earth was a hive of activity. Elise Carrington and her team worked tirelessly, piecing together data from the Archeran technology left behind. Humanity was divided. Some viewed the aliens as saviors who had offered a glimpse of a brighter future, while others saw them as a looming threat, retreating only to return stronger. Elise's encrypted message from Zaltha weighed heavily on her. Your kind is a paradox. She read again, the words echoing in her mind. What did they mean? Did the aliens see potential in humanity that even humanity couldn't recognize? The global powers were less introspective. Militaries doubled down on their defenses, pouring resources into projects aimed at countering the alien technology. Nations raced to replicate the captured devices, eager to claim dominance in the face of a potential return. But in the quieter corners of the world, something different was happening. The Archeran's unintended gifts, clean energy generators and healing technologies, were changing lives. In places like Nairobi, communities were thriving as they embraced the alien advancements. The world began to see glimpses of what humanity could achieve if it chose unity over division. Back aboard the mothership, Zaltha prepared his final report for the Archeran High Council. He stood before a shimmering panel that projected his words across light years of space. The inhabitants of Earth are a paradox, he began, his tone measured but weary. They are emotionally volatile, prone to conflict, and deeply mistrustful, yet they are also resilient, creative, and capable of great compassion. They fight among themselves, yet they can unite in the face of a greater threat. He paused, glancing once more at the holographic Earth. Their technological advancement is primitive by our standards, but their ingenuity and adaptability are unparalleled. They are dangerous, but they are not without promise for now. We must leave them to their own devices. They are not ready for an alliance. To engage them further would be to risk our own safety. Barak stepped forward, and if they pursue us, leader. If they turn their ingenuity toward interstellar expansion, Zoltar's expression hardened, then we will meet them again. And we will be prepared. The mothership's engines roared to life, and the massive craft began its departure from the ground. Humanity watched in awe and unease as the glowing vessel ascended, vanishing into the vast expanse of space. On the surface, Elise stood on a mountaintop, watching the night sky. She held the message in her hand. Its implications sinking in. They're gone. A voice behind her said. For now, Elise replied, her eyes fixed on the stars, but they'll be back. And when they return, we need to be ready. The alien ship disappeared from the radar, leaving Earth's fate once again in its own hands. The Archaeans' retreat was not a victory or a defeat. It was a lesson, a warning, and perhaps a glimmer of hope. In the quiet aftermath, humanity stood on the precipice of its future, torn between fear and potential, chaos and unity. And somewhere in the depths of space, the Archaean watched, waiting to see what kind of species humanity would choose to become.